Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtukim. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Dear devotees. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Appreciate. I guess other devotees will be joining soon. So this session will be a little different than other sessions. In other sessions, we were just rushing to complete our chapter. So the idea is that after every 3 chapters, we will kind of review those 3 chapters and give everyone chance to share their realization and ask for any questions that they have. So usually in our normal session, we don't have much time for us to go through any questions that the devotee may have. So I can again review 3 chapters. I can summarize, but the thing is, I just wanted to see if any devotee has any questions first, and then I can I can take you through the chapter summaries again. So looks like no comments or no questions. So yeah, they can also share what they're feeling, anything that they wanted to share. Because I've been talking, I just wanted to give others a chance today a little bit. Of course, I will be explaining other things also, but I just wanted to let others speak as well.
Actually, Prabhuji, I think that your class is excellent. It is very well summarized. Even though you might think that you're going very quickly, actually, while it may be quick, it's very thorough. So sometimes it takes a very knowledgeable person to actually have the skill to summarize and cover everything and write a good essay in the least amount of words. So you are basically doing that with our class. So I would say that you will find that most of us have actually learned so much in this 1 hour that maybe even if we had 1.5 hour class or so many questions, those questions start getting answered themselves as we progress as we go back and we look. Usually you find the answer is right there if we just sit and just wait and look at the verses again. So I would say, no, your classes are great. We don't have a question about the classes as such, but if you want to shed some more light and you want to go over the 3 chapters again, I am sure we will learn a lot in what you have to give us, rather than the questions that we may pose to you, because I'm sure our questions are getting answered without us asking those questions.
Right. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that feedback. And just I would like to again take the blessings of all the devotees. I'm happy to again summarize. There are two ways I'm going to summarize. The first thing is that I would like to summarize the whole chapter just in one or two sentences, just to get the essence, right? And then of course we can discuss more things. So chapter 1 is entitled Questions by the Sages. The sages gathered in the forest of Naimisha. It is called Naimisharanya, and so they were inquiring from a senior devotee, advanced devotee, and his name is Suta Goswami, right? And if I want to summarize this entire chapter, I would say that learn, what should I say? Eager to hear from qualified Vaishnavas and make submissive inquiries. I would say that is the summary. And ask right questions. Okay, eager to hear from bona fide people by asking submissive inquiries, and these inquiries for ultimate good of the people. So they were very eager to hear. That is the entire chapter. Nothing for them actually. If you analyze the entire chapter, nothing is there for selfish reason. It is just for the welfare of everybody. Just like the example of Lord Shiva. When Lord Shiva was requested by the demigods to come and save the great calamity that they encountered during the churning of this milk ocean. And first, the halahal poison came. And when they requested, Lord Shiva said to Mother Parvati that if I drink this, Hari will be pleased. Who will be pleased? Hari will be pleased. For the pleasure of Hari, I'm happy to drink this and protect these demigods who are the devotees of the Lord. So saintly people are like that. They always go an extra step. They always take, just like Prabhupada, adventurous step. Just see all the way coming from India at such an old age. Everybody wants to retire and simply sit at home and pass their time while watching telly and chit-chatting. At that age, 70 years, extraordinary step to go to America. So that's what the sages do. A saintly person, that's what they do. So the entire chapter, in my view, is that is the way I summarize. How do I summarize? Eager to hear from saintly people, a bona fide representative of the Lord by making submissive inquiries. And the second chapter, I would summarize that the entire summary is that Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, to obtain the ultimate goal, which is love of Krishna. So summary is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, to achieve the ultimate goal, love of Krishna. That is the summary.
Nityam.
These are again my own summaries. I've not read anywhere, because after reading the entire chapter, this is how I would like to. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, to achieve the ultimate goal, love of Krishna. So if I'll explain this, what does it mean? And Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. How many types of Bhagavatas are there?
Two.
Two Bhagavatas.
Book and person.
Book and person. So book and person. So, and how do we serve the book? How do we serve the person?
Physical discharge of service to the person and reading the book.
Reading, and person we can hear the lectures.
So that is what summary is, isn't it? So person Bhagavatam, when we serve person Bhagavatam means a devotee. Yeah. When we serve person Bhagavatam, what are the effects that we get? Anybody wants to say? We discuss this also. What are the benefits that one gets by serving person Bhagavatam?
Blessings to advance.
True.
Our cleanliness.
No, one by one, if you want to raise, then I can pick up, or yes.
It actually cleans everything in it cleans our heart, so it takes away all the impurities in our heart actually.
Yes, so that is right. And in the second chapter, it is said, Shushruto Shredadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Swan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishedana. By serving great people, one automatically develops urge to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why I put it as Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So serve person Bhagavatam, and as well as not only serve person Bhagavatam, but also serve book Bhagavatam. So say for us, how do we serve person Bhagavatam? Who do we serve person Bhagavatam? Madhakumar Prabhu, yes.
Someone who is in the position of a spiritual teacher, guide, and we serve him by following his instructions.
And for us, Prabhupada instructions are there.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say, when we serve someone in that position, we get the favor of the Lord on their recommendation. That's personal realization.
And what are the consequences? If you read from, there are a number of verses, no? From verse. So let me see. I'll just repeat that. I'm just trying to explain that one sentence summary. Yes. So go to 16.
I think it's you probably touch upon in a bit, the verse 1.2.18.
18, yes.
Yeah.
So from 16 onwards, the verse in chapter 2, verse 16 says, by serving those who are completely pure, a great service is done. And by that service, one gains the affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. And the other verses talk about, like, when we hear, what do we gain by hearing? All the troublesome to the heart, that will be disappeared. There are consequences, isn't it? Slowly we become fixed in our devotion. Our modes of ignorance and passion are kind of destroyed, almost all. And then we get to the stage of mode of goodness, and then again we will gain further knowledge and further advancement. So the process is that hearing. And this hearing is, when we serve person Bhagavatam, we develop even more affinity to hear Vasudeva. So Nityam Bhagavat Seya, two types of Bhagavats. One is person Bhagavatam, second is book Bhagavatam. These to be done simultaneously. Even the book Bhagavatam we cannot understand. This is another important point that repeatedly comes. Even the book Bhagavatam we cannot understand. we only have to hear from the person Bhagavatam. Because the real purports are not revealed to us. Only when we hear in the parampara, then it is easily we understand that. So Prabhupada also mentioned that the book Bhagavatam should be understood by person Bhagavatam. And we are so lucky in our movement. We are extremely lucky. All our acharyas, they've given their entire life to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Just imagine, like, writing this purport. Every purport I touch, whenever I read that, how come Prabhupada, was able to put this message together. And I feel that it's not just the normal human cannot do this. This is extraordinary, superhuman. Prabhupada many times mentioned that I was not writing the books, and he said that, yes, he was empowered to write. So we are very lucky. Our Acharya, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami. Sanatana Goswami was always like, Sutapa Prabhu was telling the other day that there is a little Brahmana Bhai who appeared in the dream, gave Bhagavatam to him. And when he broke his sleep, then, he couldn't see anyone. Then in the morning, and then he was just lamenting. And then there's a boy who came and gave Bhagavatam, who is not different from Krishna. So we are very lucky. So these two things are really important from whole chapter. Second chapter is that, yes, Krishna is the goal. And the ultimate goal is to obtain love, develop love for Krishna. But how do we develop that? The process is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Do two things simultaneously: serve person Bhagavatam and serve the book Bhagavatam. And also, when person is not here physically, and we do Vani Seva and Vapu Seva. You heard this many times. Vani Seva is the service to the bodies, physical needs. And Vani Seva is we serve, like we follow their instructions. In our best of our abilities, whatever it may be, like, whatever talents we have. We need not to serve that, we all have different skills. This is another point I just wanted to mention. We should serve the way, in the way we can do. We need not to copy other person. Other person, X person has X talent, Y person has got a different talent. But what talent, what ability I have, and I'll try to serve in that way. So, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, serving person Bhagavatam and serving the book Bhagavatam, this is very, very important. All our acharyas, they read it, and there is so much importance to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Whatever we want, we can find. Whether it is politics, whether it is economics, whether it is, philanthropy, whatever the subject matter you take, we will be able to find in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, that way, what happens is that we will attain the ultimate goal, which is developing love for Sri Krishna. So that is the one sentence summary of the second chapter. And third chapter is Krishna is the source of everything. Madhav Kumar Prabhu, you know your famous verse from Bhagavad Gita? 10:8.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, I am the source of both spiritual and material worlds. So third chapter says that Krishna is the source of everything. Everything, incarnations, whether it is matter or spirit, whatever it may be. Krishna is the source of everything, and Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. And it is the essence of all the Vedic literature.
In the third chapter, I think the verse is number 28.
Third chapter, number 28, but in the 10th, in the Bhagavad Gita.
10:28.
So, making sense, that third chapter, even if you forget entire chapter, we should just know a little bit that Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is the source of spirit as well as the matter. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And Bhagavatam is non-different from him, which means Bhagavatam is literary incarnation of Krishna. When Krishna disappeared, he reappeared as Bhagavatam. Krishna disappeared and reappeared in the form of Bhagavatam. And the other point I just wanted to reiterate that Bhagavatam is the essence of all the scripture. There are so many varieties of literature. If you read Mahabharata, many people in India, they hear Mahabharata and they always have a lot of questions. Lot of questions people do not understand because it's quite complicated. Mahabharata says, for example, Pandavas, only Yudhishthir Maharaj, was able to get to heaven.
Yeah.
If Yudhishthir was able to get to heaven, what is our situation? What is our situation? People don't understand. So, they were unable to, get to the heaven, many of the Pandavas, apart from Yudhishthir in the physical body. So what I'm trying to say, when you read the scriptures, you'll confused, because they give different instruction to different people. So that's why the essence of all the scriptures, I was mentioning the verse 41 in the chapter 3, mentions that Vasudev, he has taken the essence of all the Vedic literature, and from that essence, he took the essence again. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Saram Saram. Essence of the essence. He took and he gave it to Shukadeva Goswami. So Krishna is the source of everything. He is the source of all incarnations. Bhagavatam is not different from him. Rather, Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Sri Krishna.
Yeah.
And it is the essence of all the scriptures.
Ripened fruit.
That is the ripened fruit. First chapter verse 3 says that is the ripened fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the best way to receive this Bhagavatam? Prabhupada once again, many times he repeats this point. And there are professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam. They take money and they recite Bhagavatam. In the last verse of third chapter, Prabhupada mentions this, that the better way to receive this Srimad Bhagavatam is here from a bona fide person. It should be heard from a disciplic succession. And when in India, it is quite famous. This professional recitation of Bhagavatam is quite famous. And they have different tunes that they sing in, and they have different ways, and they attract so many people. But Prabhupada and our acharyas repeatedly, time and time again, they say that never hear from a professional reciter. Never. And I gave this, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gives this example. If milk is touched by a snake, what happens? Although milk is quite nutritious, and when it is touched by a snake, it becomes poisonous. And that is how he describes Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. I have no authority to comment on anything. I'm only repeating his word. Yes. And I once asked, several senior Vaishnavas that, in our temple also several devotees, they give classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, but they are not so pure devotees. And we always hear that it should be heard from a pure devotee. So how should we understand this process? And the answer I was given time and time again is that if the person is repeating what the Acharya said, we should hear. The person may not be pure, but if the person is just repeating the words of previous Acharyas, we should respect and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is what, like, I have no qualification and I have got my own baggage, so many problems I have. But if anyone, like even in the class, if not me or anyone, if the person is, if he's doing mental concoction, if he's adding his own, putting his own philosophy, we should stay away. But if the person is repeating what the previous acharyas have mentioned, we should hear that Srimad. So that is it really. That is the summary. I've done it in 26 minutes.
That's amazing.
And the more, yeah, Madhakumar Prabhu, I'll come back to the more we read, and more we are able to summarize better. I mean, like, when you read, you'll be able to get the essence. We should also take the essence of the chapter because we don't have much time, to be honest with you. Yesterday, I was looking at this explosion. Where was it? In which
Beirut, Lebanon.
Lebanon. Sorry, I'm just slightly deviating, but I'll just take 1 minute, my realization that, we plan. I plan. Listen, let me put, I plan. So much planning I do. Yes, but, one moment is enough. Like, the sound was heard in Cyprus, which is 250 kilometers away from that place. And around 12-mile radius of that explosion, there was severe effect. Everywhere there was glass. People were bleeding like that. Sorry to scare you, but just wanted to mention my realization was that, it is better. I don't know how much time I have. And, my acharyas have given the essence of all the scripture in the form of Bhagavatam. And let me take advantage and use this time effectively to read and understand it, rather than wasting time. The minute actually, Mahavishnu Goswami says, wasting time is a crime. I'm sorry to say this. Wasting time is a crime because time is non-different from Krishna. So, in these 3 chapters, I've collected a number of verses which glorifies Bhagavatam. Number of verses, and we should actually, we should not turn to anywhere. Just Bhagavatam is the essence, and everything what we want is in there. So just use this time effectively and read Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the instruction that I took it. So yes, Madhakumar Prabhu and Gaurahati Mataji both raised your hand. Please share your thoughts and comments.
Mom can go first.
Gaurahati Mataji.
So Prabhuji, there are 2 things I wanted to share. One is that in the very last chapter, the chapter 3, in the last paragraph of the purport, we read it twice. And then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. And the very last line, again, it is said, at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Shri Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. So it's in the Bhagavatam, in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining that we will see the Lord in the pages of the Bhagavatam. I wanted to share was that often as someone on a spiritual journey, we all have our own reasons for why we are there, but most of us want to go back. We definitely start with, I want to go back to the Lord and I want to go back to Golok Vrindavan. And the question I would ask then myself is, I would say my spiritual master asked, so what are you going to do there? And why do you, and who do you want to love? And who is he? And so you have to know the person that you have to fall in love with. And the example he would give is, well, when you are in love with a boy, You find out, where does he live? What does he like? What does he like to eat? What does he do in his pastime? What are his favorite things? So when you want to fall in love with the Lord, and you actually, if you want to fall in love with the Lord and you want to go back to him, you want to attract his attention. You want, in this whole cosmic manifestation of God knows how many millions of trillions of however many numbers I'm not good at, people there are, or living entities there are, how am I going to attract his attention? I am going to attract his attention with my bhakti to him, which will be a personal devotion to him. And he's only attracted by devotion. And the only way I can find out about him, who I have to attract, is through understanding who he is. And the only way I can understand who he is by reading Srimad Bhagavatam.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that is a wonderful purport. And, Prabhupada mentioned that we can find, the purpose of reading Srimad Bhagavatam is to find Krishna, realize Krishna on every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Mother, thank you very much. And it gives the full description of Krishna, full details of Krishna. That's why Prabhupada also advised that we read systematically beginning from Canto 1. It helps us to fully appreciate Krishna in the 10th Canto. So thank you for that. And Madhav Kumar Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So yeah, just an extension of what Mom's trying to refer to. I think there was just one more point that we could have picked on the third chapter is from verse number 43. When it is said that after the Lord departed, Dharma also took shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So just that point also as part of the summary, you could probably elaborate on that. And one other realization was personally for me from the second chapter when we were talking about the book Bhagavatam and the person Bhagavatam. I recall when I first joined the movement in 1996, this was 24 years ago, I was just in college and I had so many questions. I used to just grab hold of any of the senior devotees and make them sit down and, force them to answer my XYZ number of questions. And I was always given responses to my questions, but also gently urged to engage in some physical service. And over a period of time, even though all of the questions were not directly answered, but they eventually got answered in the sense that I had no more questions when I picked up the actual physical process of discharging service. So just referring to the importance of following the instruction and serving the person Bhagavatam as a means to understand the book Bhagavatam automatically.
Excellent. Prabhu, thank you. Thank you. That's the verse, the famous verse 43 from the third chapter. We will go through it. I will go through the 6 questions and answers as well. And as part of that, we will go through.
Prabhu,
Yes.
may I say something here? Sorry.
Yes, yes, Meena Mataji, please.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was what Gauri Mataji said about, feeling Krishna in every page of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when I was reading that, I still don't understand. So maybe, as we go on progressing, go on reading more and more, heart gets cleansed and you're able to relate more to that feeling, I guess. Is that correct? Or how does it work?
So what are you trying to say that?
I'm actually asking you about
Yes.
the feeling. How does, what kind of a feeling is it? How does one feel that in every page of Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see Krishna?
Okay. Yes, anybody would like to answer? Gaur Harti Mataji, yes, please. Mataji, please unmute. Gaur Harti Mataji.
Look, I'm not so advanced to answer it. I'm sure, Gaur Nataraj Prabhuji, you would do a better job of explaining this. I can only give you what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
There's an attachment that you develop with the book
because the book is giving you information of that person that you love the most in the world. How can you, it's like you can't live without your phone. You can't live without your phone because your phone is attaching you to so many different things. People are not able to put the phone down. They must check every so often because they are attached to all those things. So the Bhagavatam is giving me information of the Lord. I am not able to put the book down, or I am not able to stop reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, or I find every answer in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Lord is giving me every answer in my everyday life only by my having that faith. It's very important to have that faith in the person who is protecting you at all times. No one is going to be able to protect me. And the perfect example is that of Draupadi. Nobody was able to protect Draupadi with 5 famous husbands who were so, powerful in so many different ways. They were not able to protect Draupadi. In my head, I feel nobody can protect me but my Lord. That Lord that I have so much faith in, I know he is disclosing what he wants to disclose at the time that I am ready to receive, in the form of various devotees that come my way, in the form of messages that I get from my spiritual master. And I have just full faith that when I am ready, when he thinks I am prepared to hear more, he gives me more. In the same verses, more is disclosed. When I'm not ready, I read it and it's not going in. When I'll be purified, so one has to be pure to receive as well. When you're like people who are eating meat, drinking alcohol, watching movies that are not really, they are playing in your mind. So when your mind is devoid of all this, and all you're doing is listening to Krishna Katha, all you're doing is watching spiritual stuff, all you're hearing is Krishna Katha, and all you're eating is prasad. And I actually didn't realize the importance of prasad. I would fight to get Mahaprasad now. What I mean is, it is just so powerful. There's magic in eating just prasad. It is actually helping you become more purified. So I have faith in Prabhupada's words. I have faith in his purports. I have faith in Srimad Bhagavatam. I hope I can have more faith than I have when I'm ready. I don't know. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, I mean, so what you're saying is, as you go on reading, you get purified. That's the purification process, actually.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
like you said, it's so, like yesterday I was reading, and I was reading for nearly an hour. And then I had to close it because I know I have to wake up very early in the morning. So I had no choice but to close it and go to sleep. But if it was a weekend, I would just probably continue, sitting there for another couple of hours. It's just so attractive, like you said, the attachment, you just want to go on and on and on. So I guess that is the process of purification. And then, like you said, when you're ready, that's what will manifest in front of us, and we'll be able to take it, absorb it.
Sometimes when you're reading and it is actually going it is touching your heart, and it almost makes you want to cry even in, wow, how amazing is this? It is like when you meet your child who comes home after so long and you have tears of joy. It is just an expression of love. That feeling of love that is awakening in your heart is actually the Lord's mercy, that he's awakening that love in your heart for him.
Yes.
So, Meena Mataji, when I spoke to you, you said something very interesting. I still remember that Mataji told me that how did I waste all of my time? Like, why did I waste time in the past? Did you say that when you are reading, you felt that, you wasted so much of time? Like, that's how we feel. That itself is seeing Krishna.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we are, Mataji told me, when I spoke to her, Mataji told, I'm feeling now when I'm reading, why did I waste so much time? Why did I take so much time to come here? I said, better late than never. Better late than never.
True, true, absolutely.
So on every page, Sri Krishna is mentioned. When we read, we will contemplate, we will think that person, like, when now, when we talk about Krishna, we see Krishna in our, like, in our mind. So every page that is there, of course, so that is what the process, purification process also given in 2:18, chapter 2, verse 18. What is nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavat chuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtuke. Yes, anybody knows the meaning? Translation, anybody? 2:18. So when we read this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, when we do this reading and serving, as I mentioned, two types of Bhagavatas. Serving person Bhagavatam, serving book Bhagavatam. When we do that regularly, what happens is all that is troublesome to whole heart is destroyed, almost destroyed. And then our like now our our faith is like it's not so fixed. But we will it comes to nishta. Nishta means it doesn't disturb. Whatever happens, our faith remains steady, our devotion remains steady. That is called nishta.
Yeah.
So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki. Naishtuki means it will not be destroyed again. Our bhakti will not be able to be destroyed by anything. So we come to a very firm and fixed stage by reading Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, by doing Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya.
Can I just add to that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you said it at the end. But in Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, you talked about Bhagavat Sevaya as a person and as the book. But the other word is there, Nityam. You can't just do this overnight. You have to do this on a regular basis, and then you'll see that slow transformation. Because if you can't just say, "Oh, I've served devotee once, or I've read, once. Why am I not seeing a change?" I'm not saying
It's
I've
good.
seen a change, but
Sumedha definitely touched a very important point. Nityam. Yes, I've been talking about Nityam means regularly. Regularly. That is very important, doing this on a regular basis.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks, Sumedha. A very important point, Nityam. Certainly, it's not going to happen overnight. There is another point that's been mentioned in the same verse, is the reverse of what we just understood, that by serving the person, we understand the book. But here it's saying, read the book to get established in service.
Yeah, it's it's how does say, I don't know the proper English word. When you serve a person, it's a cycle. When you serve the person tells the book, and in the book it tells you to serve the person. No, that's what. No, like
so
book always tells.
No?
Book always tells. When we read the book, it tells the glories of pure devotee. Say for example,
it's like a. Sorry, I was saying
go on.
it's like a math equation. No? The converse is true, so the equation is correct.
Yeah, converse is true. And in chapter 1, verse 15, we can talk about chapter 1, verse 15, it is said, Yat pada samshrayaha suta munayaha prashamayanaha sadyaha punatyupashrushta svardhunyaponu So, O Suta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who came in touch with them, whereas the waters of Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. The book is telling that you should associate with the pure devotees. And the pure devotees will, they say that read Bhagavatam. Right. Anything else before we can discuss those 6 questions again? Just touch base. Okay, so the first question is that what is the ultimate or absolute good for people in general? So what is the answer? So you can raise one by one, then we can go through that. So we got 15.
Pure devotional service
Yes.
to Lord Krishna.
Pure devotion, developing
Pure,
love
yeah.
of God, developing pure devotion to Sri Krishna. And that is given in, the question is 119.
Yes.
And the answer is in 1, 2, 6 and 7. 6 and 7 of the second chapter.
1, 2.
So it is said, no, that yatho bhakti radokshaje ya ahaitu ki apratiyata yayatma suprasidhati. So that is the absolute good, ultimate good, that developing love of God to Sri Krishna. And the second question is given, asked in 1:11. And the question is, what is the essence of all scriptures? And the answer is also same. It's the same, like, the essence of all Krishna, all scriptures is to know Krishna and to develop love of Krishna. The same answer, actually.
1 to 6 to 7?
Yeah.
Yes, and it is continued until 28. The same thing is glorified. In verse 28, it says, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramaka, Vasudeva Paramjnanam, Vasudeva Parakriya. Like, Sri Krishna is everything, basically. That is the essence of all the scriptures. 1 to 6? You don't know?
Third.
1 to 6. Why did you ask that question?
Savai Pumsam.
Yes, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshaje Ahaitu Kiya Pratiyata Yayatma Suprasidhati. So the translation is, O Sutta, those great sages know. That's the different one. The supreme occupation. People talk about dharma. They misinterpret in India for this dharma several times in different ways. The supreme dharma, supreme occupation for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. And the question 3 is that, tell why Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared. And the answer is given in 1:2:34. That is to reclaim the purpose of Krishna appearance and any incarnation is to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. And also in 1:3:28, 1:3:28 is the famous verse. So etes chamsha kalapumsam krishnastu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakulam lokam rudayanti yuge yuge. So when there is a disturbance by the atheists, that Krishna and Krishna's incarnations will appear on the planet. So that is the purpose. Purpose is to reclaim those who are in the mode of goodness, and also whenever there is a disturbance created by atheists, to make the situation correct, that Krishna and Krishna's incarnations will come. So that's the third question. And the fourth question is, tell us the acts of the Lord performs in relationship to creating this material world. So the answer is given 1:30-33. 30-33 of the second chapter, 3 verses, where it is said, this is basically how the universe is created. We all know, many times we read that all the Purusha incarnations, 3 Purusha are there: Karnodaksai Vishnu, Garbhodaksai Vishnu, Kshirodaksai Vishnu. How the whole material creation takes place is mentioned. Also in the 3rd chapter of first 5 verses, it is further explained. That is about the fourth question. The fifth question is describe the activities of the incarnations of the Lord, Leela Avataras. They are given in the third chapter from 6 to 20, 20?
22.
26, I guess. Yes, chapter 3, various incarnations are given. How many incarnations are given? 22 incarnations of the Lord given. And question 6 is, where our religious principles gone after Lord Sri Krishna's disappearance from this world? When Krishna was there, the religion, Krishna is religion personified. So the question was that after Krishna's disappearance, where did the religion take shelter? The answer is given 1343. Madhav Kumar Prabhu was mentioned that after Krishna left, the Srimad Bhagavatam appeared, which consists the real religion, real knowledge. And man, the people in Kali Yuga who have lost their sight due to dense darkness of ignorance can take shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam and benefit. So those are the 6 questions. There will be further questions as well. Yes, Madhav Kumar Prabhu.
Sorry, I think I might have lost you on the 4 and 5. In text 1, Canto 1, chapter 1, text 14, there is a question. Sages are asking, please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters. Did we pick that?
So text 14, I can't see that question here.
In the translation, it says text 14. Oh, so there was some 14. 114, yeah.
I think 13. No.
You're right, Sumedha, my mistake. 13.
Yes.
Please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters. Is that also one of the questions? Did we pick that?
I don't know why, but they are not categorized like these 6 questions that we are discussing are composed by the 6 Jiva Goswami. So, okay, also we are eager to learn about the personality of Godhead and his incarnation. That question is already, that is already there. Please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters. For one is purified both by speaking them, and I think it is in relation to the incarnations, I guess, probably. So that is probably considered as...
I would have thought it's a separate question to ask teachings imparted by previous masters.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'll park that for later. You can maybe research it.
Yeah, we can. I think, yes, Jiva Goswami mentioned 6 questions. And that was not...
What is the book you're referring to, Prabhuji? Is that?
I'm like, mainly I'm just trying to follow some of the Bhakti Vaibhava course material. So that's where I'm just picking up some things.
Okay. So sorry, if you have time, can we just quickly go through 5 and 6? I lost you in those.
5 and 6.
Yeah. Sorry, 4 and 5, my mistake.
4 tell us the acts the Lord performs in relationship to creating the material world.
1 second.
That was asked in verse 17.
Is that chapter
117? All 6 questions were asked in chapter 1.
1, okay. 1.1.7. Okay, and the answer is in
1.2.33 to
32 to 33, but also it is explained in other chapters as well, and in the 3rd chapter 1 to 4 also describe that. Basically, Purusha incarnations, creation, how the creation takes place, and Canto 2 also talks quite a lot about creation.
That's fine. And number 5, just last one.
Number 5, the basically Leela incarnations, pastimes incarnations of the Lord. They were mentioned in the 3rd chapter. 22 incarnations are mentioned.
Chapter 3, verse number?
there are number like I think it's from
6
so
to
where is
26.
it? 6 to 27.
6 to 26.
All the
6
incarnations.
to
Okay,
26
that's fine.
actually. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. And what verse was the question?
1.118.
1118.
Thank you. I'm with you now. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sorry to take
No,
a
no, that's
reverse
fine. I
gear.
think, yeah, the thing is, if we can get the essence, sometimes it's a little tricky to understand so many things, but if we get the essence, and they will ask more and more questions again, but we can see again in the 4th chapter. Yeah, so I think that's it really. Next week, we have Janmashtami on Wednesday. So we will not be able to have our usual class because there is plenty of service for some of us. So there won't be a class on Wednesday next week. Is that okay, Madhakumar Prabhu?
Yeah, absolutely. As a student, we're happy to get a week's break extra to catch up on our reading.
Prabhu, if you want a break, what should I say? What should I say, Prabhu? I need a break, actually. I need a lot of break. But how everyone is feeling, I just wanted to just hear, like, Philip Prabhu, just everybody say a little bit about it. How you feeling about this whole thing?
We are enjoying, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
I'm
honestly.
enjoying.
Yeah.
Yes,
Honestly,
it's a nice pace you're going out, actually. Yeah, with all the
Yeah.
questions and yeah, very nice.
And also
Very nice.
one thing, can I also humbly request that I know that some of you are making some notes. It is my humble request that please kindly make some notes.
Yes, Prabhuji, see.
I know that some of you are making, and this instruction is not for those who are not making. No, I know who is making, who is not making. I know. Sitting here, I can tell.
You can always send a text, Prabhu.
I can tell sitting here, but you will benefit a lot. I'm telling my friends.
Also, bro, markers.
So that's good. I know, Prabhu, I know. But the thing is, it helps us. It helps us a lot, Prabhu, lot. That means you are taking it seriously. There's a casual, like, yes, Prabhuji says something.
Prabhuji, Bhagavatam has been sitting in the house for a while. I think this is really a very, very good hour spent in the week. And like I said to you earlier, I'm very, very hopeful that, at this pace, with your support and everybody's encouragement.
With everybody's support,
we
will
will
encourage
have,
each other. But this is again, I know that some of you are definitely making notes, I know. But, I just wanted to say, when you make some notes, you'll become serious. You know that, don't become casual, like, casual. There is a one word, who said, this is a Shishtastakam Prabhu, don't become casual, you become a casualty. Please, we should make some notes, what is this verse talking about? What is this? Like that, a couple of important points. And like that, it helps you a lot, because even if you if you have notes, just in 5 minutes, you can revise entire chapter like this. So I humbly request the devotees, please kindly take some notes, and it also helps you to preach elsewhere. If you want to talk the same chapter, if you want to, explain this to anyone else, it helps you. So please do make some notes, and also about learning some verses. The verses, important verses I'm reciting, nobody commented on them. So what my plan is, rather than recording them separately, I would do in the same class. Whenever that important verse come, I recite. That's it. And there won't be a separate video that required.
Yeah, that's
Prabhuji,
good.
we have audio recordings of session 2 and 3. We only have one, I think.
Yeah, session 1 is there. Session 3 is there. Session 2, I will post it again.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be so nice to learn some of these verses.
I thought Sumedha did the first chapter verses. Is there a plan to do second and third?
Yeah, we have also posted the second chapter verses.
Achha.
Third one, we did not do a separate one because I recited in the class itself.
Okay.
What is the best?
Maybe keep it separate.
You think I should keep it separate? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice.
Yeah. Anyways, we are marking a time in all the important verses.
Yeah. Sometimes when you hear a person reciting, then you will pick it up very easily. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's
It's a
how
short
I
10-minute
do.
video separately, so probably best to just keep it separate.
Keep it separate, no problem. I'll do that.
I don't know what others think about.
No, it's good also for me. And please learn some of these verses. And I know Phillips Prabhu recorded one verse and he posted it to me. And I was happy to hear his voice. But at least see the enthusiasm. You know, the thing is, Lord sees the endeavor, not the result. Result is not in our hands. Only the endeavor is in our hands. And the result sometimes can be a positive or negative. Doesn't matter well, but we will get the benefit when we put our full endeavor. Just like our Jatayu. Jatayu put his full endeavor, but it could not be victorious against Ravan. Yeah, result is not so good, but yet he was delivered by Ram. So endeavor should be there from our side. So together we can read the Srimad Bhagavatam in this way. Thank you very much for kindly giving your blessings and kindly encouraging me. And please keep showering your blessings so that we'll just together we will read the Srimad Bhagavatam this way. Okay, so any questions, any other things? Shashi Mataji?
Very nice lecture, and I'm enjoying your interaction and learning from your questions. And it's really very, very fantastic. Thank you very much.
Anu Mataji is not here today?
I don't know. She must be busy. I don't know. I'll check. I'll ring afterwards. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming everyone obviously has a set, but if anybody doesn't have a full set, then we can help.
I've got two sets.
Yes.
I've got Hindi set, English set. I just need to read.
So,
and I've got
Prabhu, have you got a set as well? Philip Prabhu, have you got Bhagavatam set?
Yes, Prabhu, yeah.
And do we know who is this iPhone? Sorry.
Hello, Prabhuji, this is me, Geetika.
Geetika Mataji, Hare, come on, you are silent, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji has got a set. We know Meena Mataji has got a set, and we got a set as well. Purushottam got a set. But if anybody needs any sets, please see our Madhav Kumar Prabhu. He is happy to help you. Okay, so
thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice lecture.
Very
perfect.
Much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. There won't be a class next week. We'll see you in the week after. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.